So ladies and gentlemen, you're actually in for a treat in today's video. I'm going to be breaking down some of the most important lessons you can learn in terms of business, entrepreneurship, and just life in general. And that is how to hack your brain to get pretty much anything you want, especially going from 0 to 10K per month, because that is the notorious number where I've seen time and time again that when I did it myself and achieved it myself, and when other students have achieved it themselves, and just people that have worked with me in general, once they've achieved that 10K per month mark and beyond, that's really around that 10K per month mark is really when the quality of your life starts to increase. So I'm going to specifically talk about how you can actually hack your brain, hack your old mind, just your whole complex within itself, your paradigm, in order to scale yourself into that 10K per month mark and become a six-figure business owner. And again, the reason why I say this is because I've noticed just time and time again, it's normally when you start hitting just over six figures that the quality of your life really starts to change for the better. Everybody knows that, in SMA, the notorious number to hit is that 10K per month mark. In consulting and starting a coaching business, the notorious number to hit is that 10K per month mark. There's a reason for that, guys. Now, what I'm going to be doing in this video is breaking down exactly how you can actually hack your brain in order to help you get to those particular places. I'm pretty sure if you kind of like noticed, I've noticed this, being a program owner, I've actually got a program where I actually help multiple people scale their agencies. I've worked with people one-to-one, and I've done it myself. And what I keep noticing over and over and over again is that the skills, like the actual skills, for example, marketing, sales, outreach, just general physical skills, like the actual skills you need in order to start a business, those aren't really the things that stop most people from scaling to 10K per month. Now, I know that this sounds crazy, but I genuinely think these days that there's just so much shit on the internet. You can actually go and pick up the skills for pretty much free, or you could just go to somebody and buy them somebody's program or their coaching and whatever it is, whatever they've got going on, and you can actually just go and pick up the skills from them directly. So you don't really need to guess the skills. So it's not actually the skills that stop people. Because think about it, if you really wanted to learn how to leverage Facebook ads or learn Facebook ads, what you would do is just go to YouTube and start typing in Facebook ads, and you'd spend probably like 3, 4, 5 weeks just watching every single video on YouTube on Facebook ads. And I'm telling you right now, you would become a pro in no time whatsoever. That would be what you call theoretical knowledge, because you haven't actually put it into practice yet. But obviously you would know what to do, how to navigate the advertising platform and business, Meta's business suite, all of that sort of stuff. So you would actually technically on paper sound like you know what you're talking about. So the skills themselves aren't actually the most difficult thing to master. What I've noticed is actually your brain that's the most difficult thing to master. Now, I want to start off by premising the video by saying the way you do one thing is the way how you do everything. And your business, right, is just the way how your business is going is just a reflection. It's a mirror of your personal life. So your personal life reflects into your business, and your business reflects into your personal life. It's normally, by the way, your personal life that reflects into your business. For example, if you read books and you don't finish them, that indicates to me that you have a scattered brain. If you have a messy desktop on your computer or a messy bedroom, that shows me that you've got a messy mind. I know it sounds really weird. And just give you another example, if you've got like a messy car, or if you've got a messy bedroom or something like that, or a messy office, that indicates to me that you're a messy person. You don't organize things, you don't keep things organized. And organization in entrepreneurship is pretty much 80% of the game right there and then. I'm telling you, organization, just being able to stay organized is going to help you with your consistency, your motivation, your drive. And because of those things combined, it's going to actually help you propel you towards that 10K per month mark. Now, I want to break down some real stuff that have actually helped me genuinely and talk about my own personal experience. I can't speak for everybody, but I've noticed time and time again, these things are absolutely crucial for hacking your own brain in order to scaling you from broke to that 10K per month mark. Now, I want to talk about a Australian psychologist, right, called Alan Richardson. I believe it's Alan Richardson. Yeah, it's Alan Richardson's experiment. You can actually Google this right now. Now, I think this was back in 1976 or 1967, whichever day it is. You guys can fact check me on that. So back in the day, this psychologist, Australian psychologist, he basically walked into like a college gym, like an actual basketball gym, and he was watching, the college players play basketball and shoot free throws more specifically. So what this dude decided to do for an experiment, I don't know what made him decide to do this, or what the premise of the experiment was, or what sort of hypothesis he set and why he actually did this. But it turns out that he basically took a basketball team of college students, right, that were shooting free throws and that wanted to improve on their free throw game, right? So what he did was he split up the team into 3 different groups. There was group A, B, and C. Group C was the control group, so they didn't actually do anything. What he basically did was he had 3 different groups. You have to have a control group, by the way, when you're doing science, just to make sure that your experiment and the thing that you're testing for isn't a placebo effect. A placebo effect is when, for example, let's say I give you a fake sugar pill and I say, hey, this is going to cure your headache, and I give it to you and it's just nothing but basically sugar and water. Well, then, and you actually cures your headache. That's what you call a placebo effect. So he took this group, split into 3, A, B, and C. There's group A, B, and C. Each group had equal numbers of players in. And what he basically did was he got group A to physically go to the gym, actually kit up, boot up, suit up. They're suited and booted. They actually physically went to the actual basketball court, stood at the free throw line, and they took X amount of free throws. Let's say they took 100 free throws per day, each player. And what he did was track the progress and the improvement that they did over, or they made over a 30-day period. He then took another group, which is group B, and he basically didn't make them do physical practice, but he made them practice and visualize in their head. So they didn't do any single physical practice. They didn't get, ready in their kits. All they did was lay there, close their eyes, and visually basically walk themselves through in their own heads of them shooting free throws over and over again. And he told them to do 100 free throws in their head. And here's the craziest thing, guys. Group A, obviously that did physical practice, improved on their free throw game 24%. Group B, that did no work whatsoever, was sat in the comfort of their own homes or wherever they actually was, visualizing. And they basically just visualize themselves doing free throws, walking up to the line, bouncing the basketball, setting up their shot form, shooting the actual ball itself. And they actually improved 23%. So there was only 1% difference between physical practice, like physically going to a gym and shooting free throws, to the actual dudes that did visualization. And obviously the group C, which didn't do either or, they did absolutely nothing, they improved by 0% on their free throw games, which to me indicates that there is actual, credence and there's actual credibility in the claim that positive thinking and using your brain to actually go forwards and actually just visualize stuff that you want, not just airy fairy wishy dreaming. What you need to do is actually visualize the steps it takes in order to do that. So for example, if you're struggling with cold calls, if you're struggling with cold emails, I want you to visualize. This is a real trick that I use, by the way. As soon as I heard this study, I was like, yeah, I'm sold on this. You know what, forget it. And the thing that actually sold me was when I heard the fact that your brain can't actually distinguish between what's real and what's not, which is why when you're dreaming and you have one of those horrible dreams where it feels like you're falling out of a building or you fall just in general, you're running and you fall, and just before you hit the floor, you actually wake up. The reason why your body actually reacts like that is because it doesn't know the difference. Your brain can't actually tell the difference. So when you're visualizing, it doesn't actually know the difference, which basically means that if you want to become good at sales, this is how I leveraged it. If I wanted to become good at sales was the thing that I really struggled with back in the day. So I just literally sat there just before going to bed, and this is what I would do. I would literally just lay there, eyes closed, and I would visualize myself on a Zoom call with a prospect, but I wouldn't make it airy fairy. I would give this prospect a name. I would address them by their name. And what I would do is I would actually make the call difficult. This is the difference between airy fairy, kind of like visualization, and just being like, oh, I'm going to get a Lamborghini tomorrow. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about what you need to do, the steps in order to take, should I say, in order to get the Lamborghini, aka you need to do cold calls. So what I want you to do is visualize the thing that you're really struggling with right now, and visualize it being hard, but you overcome the actual, hardship. AKA, let's say you're on a sales call right now, and the prospect is asking you very difficult questions you don't know the answer to, or you're scared of being asked. So there's always questions such as like, have you done this before? Can you show me past case studies? What makes you different between all the other agency owners out there and you? I want you to ask yourself these very deep questions, but picture it coming from the actual prospect themselves, and then being very difficult to be like, they're very handful. They're a handful type of prospect. We all know what a handful prospect is, where they're grilling you with questions. I want you to visualize yourself on a sales call or a cold call, and they're grilling you with all these questions. And I want you to be thinking fast on your feet, and I actually want you to overcome these objections. So think about all the objections that you're going to get in a sales call, all the questions you dread the most, and actually visualize yourself overcoming those. See, this is the difference. Don't visualize yourself walking into Lamborghini and putting your card on the friggin' machine and buying a Lamborghini. I want you to visualize the steps that got you the money that was on the card in the first place. AKA, you did all the sales calls. You did your email outreach. You got told to F off many, many times. You got told I'm not interested many, many times. I want you to visualize those, and I want you to visualize what you do to overcome those and the steps you need to take on to become better. So that's kind of like technique one, which would be visualization and the mental prowess, and there's a mental strength that you don't even know that you have, that you can use to hack yourself into actually enjoying the hard things. This is one of the key things. You actually want to hack your brain into enjoying doing the things that you know you don't like doing. AKA, let's say you're going to the gym. You have to hack your brain into actually enjoying the pain, visualizing the actual pain, visualizing yourself where your muscles absolutely just, you've got DOMs completely just sore and you're still pushing through and lifting the weight anyway. That's the difference. You actually, as they say, normally, I think it was Shan Tzu or something like that. You guys know I'm talking about the Chinese philosopher, like thousands of years ago, hundreds of years ago, whatever it was. The Art of War, I believe he wrote that particular book. He basically said that war is won in the mind first before it's actually taken out in reality. So that's a great little strategy. Another technique I want you guys to do or use is what I like to call, well, technically it's called the alchemy of self. Kind of created and kind of publicized and just brought to light by Sam Ovens. If you don't know who Sam Ovens is, consulting dude way back in the day. I don't think he actually owns a consulting business anymore. He's gone through some great stuff. But long story short, what I actually ended up doing back in 2018, and I was looking at it this morning as well, by the way, this exact journal that I created back in 2018, which is eerily scary, which actually made me want to create this video today, which was I created like a mindset journal. It was like a journal that I would wake up and read every single day, first thing in the morning. So first of all, I made a routine around it. Woke up in the morning. First thing I did before I actually even got out of bed was I was reading this journal. This journal basically broke down where I am right now, where I've come from, where I want to go, what the character looks like I need to in order to achieve those said things. So what I want you to do is think about the person you are right now and the person you want to become. AKA, if you're at $0 right now and you're timid and you're scared of sales, well, then the opposite of that would be you're making 10K per month, for example. You're not timid, you're outgoing, you're disciplined, you're brave. So what I need you to do is start looking at certain celebrities that you really like and start stealing characteristics from them. I'll give you a couple of ideas. Let's say Kobe Bryant. Everybody knows that Kobe Bryant was known for, RIP to the GOAT for sure. Extremely sad on what happened. He was known for, his just tenacity, his hard work, his drive, his motivation, just never ever quitting. So what you can do is start looking at all these different people you look up to and start taking certain aspects and certain characteristic traits. That's the word I'm looking for. Characteristic traits from certain people, and you start mushing them together into the future version of you. It needs to be you, by the way. This person that you're chasing, the excellence that you're chasing, needs to be the version of you in like 5 years time, 3 years time, 2 years time, 1 year time. So think about who you want to be in 1 year time. What do you want to achieve? Then start thinking about what is it that you actually need to do. What are the processes? What are the steps? What are the characteristic traits that you need in order to achieve that said thing? Let's say your goal is to get to 10K, like I said. Well, in order to get to 10K, what sort of business are you going to be leveraging? Are you going to be in SMA? Are you going to be in consulting? Are you going to have a personal brand? Whichever business it is, there's going to be certain characteristic traits that you need to start looking at other people that they've got. For example, in SMA, you need to be obviously cutthroat, or should I say tough-skinned, so you can actually accept rejection and still move on and move past it anyway. You need to be able to brush off rejection. You need to be, I wouldn't say, extrovert or something like that, but you need to be able to at least articulate your points. You need to be, good at marketing. So all these little characteristic traits, start putting them inside the person that you want to be. So these are your characteristic traits for the person in your future. And then what you're going to do is every day you're going to act in accordance to the person you want to become. You're going to act in accordance to the person you want to become. AKA, if this person needs to wake up every single day at 6:30 a.m., well, then you get your ass up at 6:30 every single day at 6:30 a.m. And the way how you do it is you literally imagine you're in bed, right? This is not visualization, but just imagine this is a scenario. You're in bed and you can't get up at 6:30, and you know you need to get up at 6:30, and you're tired as hell. Well, what I used to do was I would picture myself in the future. Like, what does Montel Gordon look like? What does Montel version 2.0 look like, right? Well, he wakes up at 6:30 every single day, and it's easy to him. So what I did was I would literally physically picture somebody stood next to me in my bed, which was the version of me, which was, you know, this mega supreme dude that was like, had all these crazy characteristic traits, which you know, are solid, which I have today, to be honest with you. And I would picture him reaching and extending his arm out and actually dragging me out of bed. I am not even joking. That's how deep this stuff actually got. Funnily enough, because I already knew that I wanted to achieve said things, and then these were the steps to achieve it, I then needed to start acting in accordance to that person, which was Montel version 2.0. So I started acting like Montel 2.0. I'm guessing, and by the way, I don't really recommend this, but I'm guessing, right, that this is where the saying, fake it till you make it, comes from. And what I mean by that is, don't fake being a millionaire, but you actually have to act as if you're a millionaire in order to become a millionaire. AKA, don't go around saying you're a friggin' millionaire on the internet. Like, that's not cool. That's not what I'm trying to say. What I'm trying to say is that you need to believe inside yourself first that you are a millionaire and start seeing you're a millionaire, even though you're not, by the way. I know it's going to feel weird, even though you're not, but what it's going to do is force yourself to become a millionaire. You picture yourself as a millionaire in the future, then you just act in accordance with that. You will get that future. This is scary stuff, by the way, guys. I'm not joking. I literally put in, I think it was 2018, I was reading the booklet today. So it's a little booklet that I've got. I read it every single day. A lot of people have asked me if they can actually take a look into it, but this is like my mental programming. So it's a book that mentally programs me. It's something that I read every single day, and I've had multiple versions over the years, by the way. But it's like a journal of like it's got like a Wikipedia page on me, like what would I want people to say, you know, once I'm dead and gone. You know, once I'm dead and gone, what does my Wikipedia page say about me? You know, where did I start? I was born and raised in Sheffield. You know, my mom passed away when I was 13, and then it shows you like my journey, and there's the real pictures of me going through my childhood all the way to university, to reading my first book, to closing my first SMA client, to scaling to my first 10K per month, then to releasing my own online programs and blowing up on YouTube and blah 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 blah. Even though I've not really blown up on YouTube, to get in my dream apartment, to get in my dream car. These are all little things. And back then, by the way, I didn't have none of these things. Like literally, the first ever book, you're not gonna have none of these things, but these are goals that you're gonna set. So it's like you're showing yourself, this is where I've come from, and these are my next steps. And it's kind of like a 9x9 grid, or it's actually a 3x4 grid. So you've got like 3 pictures across and then 4 lots of those, and each one is basically a picture of what you want to achieve next, aka hit 10K per month. Then I moved out into my dream apartment. Then I got my dream car. Then I continued scaling. Then I started building a better team. I continued scaling again. Then finally hit like 40K a month. For me, it was, I got my dream car. I actually moved into my dream apartment, and I hit millionaire by 27 years old, which, by the way, I created this in 2018. I am just about to make my first $1 million like in sales ever at the age of 27, which is absolutely insane to see how accurate and scary this is. This is real life stuff. I literally looked at it this morning. I found it in one of those drawers, quite literally over there in the background here. So it's absolutely insane, this sort of stuff I'm trying to break down to you. So this is what I like to call the force of future technique. And again, like I said, guys, it's never really about the skills that I've seen people stop. Like lack of skills is not an excuse anymore, guys. Like they can't really have a lack of skills. There's so many people out there that are experts at Facebook ads, and you can just go and pay them to learn Facebook ads, and you'll become an expert like really quickly. If you don't know how to do social media, let's think about it, guys. You can literally just type into Google right now how to friggin' run a TikTok ad, how to create TikTok shorts like Alex Hormozi. You just need to know how to use friggin' the internet, and you've got it all. You've got ChatGPT, guys. Like, you've got AI software out there. How to write copy. You can literally just go and YouTube that right now. You can go and enroll into courses, go get mentors. The skills are out there. You just need to be willing to either just sit down and leverage your time to learn them, or leverage your money to save yourself time when it comes to learning them. That's what I've noticed, the two things when it comes to learning skills. You can learn them all by yourself. It does take a long time, and it can get a little bit muddy and confusing because there's not a lack of information online, like I keep saying. There's just too much information. Sometimes it's a bit hard to know who's talking the right shit and who's not. Or to just kind of like counteract that, you can go and work with somebody that you really look up to, or buy their program, or whatever it is. That's what I basically had to do, guys. Not only that, but like I said, it's not really the skills that are going to stop you. It's more about your self-discipline, hacking your mind, and using the future. It's like the force of future technique. I've noticed that that's, if I could take anything from this video, use the force of future technique. It's where you visualize in depth, like, what does this person look like? What do they smell like? How do they dress? What are their characteristic traits? What time do they wake up? How much work do they do per day? What does their Wikipedia page say about them? What do other people say about them when they enter a building? Like, it's just everything. What time do they finish work? What do they do when they're actually at work? Are they introvert? Are they extrovert? So start looking at all these different characteristic traits, right? And start putting together this idea. It's almost like you're building like Build-A-Bear. You're doing a Build-A-Bear version of you, the 2.0 version of you. You're building this new version of Montel Gordon, right? And you're just basically adding in all these different characteristic traits that you know you need to have in order to achieve your dreams. You guys know what you need to do in order to achieve your dreams, just that you don't want to do it. That's the thing. And that's why I keep saying it's more of a mental game, guys. It's way more mental than you actually think. For example, most people know that they're going to need to get on the phone, start making cold calls, or get on sales calls and actually start talking to people directly and closing people. So you're going to need to be cutthroat. You're going to need to become good at sales. You're going to need to be able to handle objections. So put all these different characteristics in your booklet, aka Montel is absolutely savage when it comes to handling objections. He always has the perfect rebuttal for any objection that comes up at any time, which allows him to close any sale at any time. I remember actually writing that in one of my booklets. One of my I call them Alchemy of Self journals. These Alchemy of Self journals, but that's basically what it is. It's that's the name of it. The actual technique behind it is called the Force of Future technique, by the way. But that's one of the things I'd put in there. It's almost like an affirmation. It's almost like you're taking something you're not good at and just saying you're good at it anyway. AKA, if you want to get good at basketball and you're terrible, you'd literally just be like, oh, Montel's absolutely, he's like the next Michael Jordan. Even though it's not real, if you keep telling yourself that over and over and over and over again, it creates this positive feedback loop that actually ends up becoming true. And I know you guys have listened to Alex Hormozi and all these other dudes, and they say a very similar thing. Why do you think that is? Why do you think there's multi-billionaires, people that are making like 9 figures a year, 8 figures a year, multiple 7 figures a year, and they're saying shit like this? Even me, I'm saying this to you right now. I looked at my book earlier today, guys, and I literally saw the lifestyle I wanted that I'm living right now. I completely forgot about this book, by the way. That was a nice surprise, actually. I'm glad I woke up and looked through my old stuff. I was actually looking for like a tax letter for one of my cars, like MOT thingy-majig. I actually came across my old booklet, opened it up. Lo and behold, everything I put in that book, besides one thing, which was getting like this 2-point-something million pound house, which, by the way, is actually, that was my like later goal. But everything in the booklet I've achieved, except for buying a fancy watch. I don't really care about watches. I literally just hit I think it was like a 21k week this week. Quite literally, in the last 7 days, I've made like 21k. So there's not really a Rolex I can't afford, like quite literally, unless there's some crazy unlimited Rolex that I've never heard of. Other than that, normal just Rolex is not going to be a problem to pick up a Rolex. I just don't really care about that. Anyway, guys, this is how you can hack your mind for success. I hope this has been very, very helpful. Please rewatch this video back multiple times over, because I'm telling you right now, the way how I woke up this morning, looked in my old booklet, and I almost shed a tear because I could literally see where I was struggling. I was even back then, I just wanted to get to 10k. We've scaled way past 10k. I wanted to get my apartment. Got one of the best apartments, like literally, I could probably ask for. It's like 1,000 square foot, never been lived in. I got like a stand-up desk, raised up and down. Like my lightings are crazy in here. The microphone's literally the best on the market. Brand new Porsche I just picked up from literally the Porsche Center itself. So guys, honestly, this is insane stuff if you can actually wrap your head around it. And again, it's all about wrapping your head around it, to be honest with you guys. Anyway, guys, don't forget to drop a like on this video. Don't forget to comment. Do all the good stuff with the buttons, basically. Like, comment, subscribe, turn notification bell on. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Love you guys. Peace.